Hey guys, Andres Gamboa here, and in this Pony Express short, we're talking with Dzineta from the E1 organization. She's talking about recharging your energy for work, why to recharge your energy for work, and how to recharge your energy for work. Oftentimes, we get burnt out, we're working too hard, and there is such a thing as working too hard. There's also a thing as playing too hard or resting too hard. And so we're talking about how to get that balance and just using your time off intentionally to recharge your energy for work. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoy this. The full episode is up here. And then, of course, subscribe, follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, sign up for our newsletter, go to theponytailspodcast.com to get more information. Thanks, guys. See you on the next one.
The biggest challenge I'm facing today is that I have been working too much, just too much. I know it's okay. It's good to work a lot, and that's what we do in Southwestern. We do work a lot, but in some ways you still have to leave space, your personal space, where you actually think. But when you do work too much, it's because I have been doing summer like schedule for past like 8-9 months almost, and it's no
Oh,
good. I think
no.
I have had like trip to South Africa, like I have had like a holiday too, but like on a daily basis, it's mostly pretty crazy, yeah, right now. And I understand you can do it for 3 months, but you probably shouldn't do it for a few years in a row already. You know?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
rough. That is something that was hard, for me when we started the podcast. And I was out working. I was working too hard. I was like too and I know it sounds people in Southwestern will hear too hard, like, oh, you can't work too hard. You can work too hard. There is a threshold. And I went to school for economics. So there is a thing called diminishing returns, where at some point, even if you're working more quote unquote hours, the return on that investment is actually not as good because you're tired. Right? For people who don't understand that, that's kind of hard. It's like eating too much pizza. The first slice is amazing, right? But the sixth slice is just not as good because
Mhm.
it's just not, and you're working just as hard to eating the pizza. So I made myself a deal where I had to rest good too. So I worked really hard, and when I worked really hard, but my goal was to have as much fun as possible when I didn't. And so in that removed a lot of the guilt, right? Because sometimes you take the time off and maybe you watch a TV show, and in your head you're like, oh, you're watching TV, like, you know, Elon Musk doesn't watch TV, Gary Vaynerchuk doesn't watch TV, Dan Moore doesn't watch TV, you're a lazy piece of shit or whatever. But at the same time, it's like, on the other hand, no, actually, no, it's totally okay to unplug and just focus on having fun and resting. Because some people take a break, but they still think of work, and that still also isn't good. Like, you have to like unplug. So yeah, I would give myself permission to have fun, to really have fun. And I found that not only was it good for my mental health, but also I was so excited to get back to work because I had unplugged and had fun, and I got that out. After a while, it's not, you can't have too much fun either, right? Same thing. And so after an hour of whatever that break was, or 2 hours, I watched that movie. I go back to work. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. This is fun. And then it was easy to plug back into work. So
Yeah,
I'm glad that you
I
mentioned
feel
that,
you
because
on that one. Yeah.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because a lot of people don't think about that, and they just like outwork, and then 9 months, 10 months, a year in, you're burnt out, and then you hate it, and that's not good.
Yeah, indeed. I really feel you on this one. Yeah,
Yeah,
indeed. And what I found out is that this crazy hardcore resting, yeah, like having like actually a party, or like going out, not just watching TV at home and having pizza. I found it so much more engaging as a resting tool, right? Because
yeah,
you plug out
yeah,
so much, because like watching TV or TV series or anything, it's really not like that.
yeah. It's just whatever you choose. Some people think exercise is also a good way to do it. And that is important, but I also think that's also different. Like, you have to rest, right? So chill out, go walk your dogs, or have a coffee with your wife. I don't know, but something that you get to like just unplug from the stress.
Yeah, whatever
Um,
floats your boat.
yeah, because you heard about them through the podcast. I also want to give a quick shout out to our homie Will Metscher at Southwestern Consulting. And here's the thing: I don't know if you guys are like me as well, where my favorite part about going and sell books, and especially talking and recruiting kids, was that you could make a lasting impact in their life. And so that's what Will's getting to do at Southwestern Consulting. You probably heard about it. He's one of their best agents, and he's looking for people to help them out and to help people learn the things that we had already knew from our experience. And so if you want to keep making a lasting impact with people, you need to work with Will Metscher. Of course, make sure you reach out to us so we can get you in touch with Will. He's looking to expand. All of the people that he has put on his team are making six figures. So it's a pretty solid opportunity for you there if you guys are looking for that. And then last but not least, I want to give a quick shout out to our friends over at Cardinal Senior Benefits, who are super awesome, and we've had a blast working with them. So Cardinal was started about 4 years ago by if you guys know our buddy Pedro Vega, who was on the show last May. But they got started with us and working with us about since April. Now they've grown every year. They doubled their growth, tripled their growth every year for like the last 20 or since 2020 2018 or something like that, for like the last 4 years. And one of the cool things about these guys is they do zero cold calling. So they're looking for people to come and maybe do a career path. Maybe they want some more flexibility in their life. They're working about 25 to 35 hours a week. And on average, they make more production and more gross profit per agent than pound for pound than most of the final expense insurance companies out there. So zero cold calling. It's just an awesome community to be a part of, and all of the fans that we have had on the show who are, and even guests, and of course guests who work there, have told us that it's a wonderful company to work for. So I have had such blast talking to them and working with them. Love you guys lots. Thank you, Cardinal. Now time to bring our guest onto the screen. Let's go. So okay, today on the show, we have Dzineta Sayemeda. I hope I said that okay. These Europeans are making me work on my pronunciation skills. But Dzineta is super awesome. She sold for 4 summers, so started in 2016. Then she went on in 2018, 19, and 20. There was a summer where she skipped in there. Maybe we'll get a story out of that. And yeah, so she was part of the E1 Sparta Elite organization. Went to university at the Latvian Academy of Sports Education, majoring in physiotherapy. So that's pretty cool. She's way smarter than me for sure. No surprise. And she is from, I hope I say this right, Madonna, Latvia. Hopefully I said it right. I'm going to bring her on the screen and she can tell us how to say all this correctly. So, hello.
Hi.
How's it going?
Fabulous. Thank you. How are you?
Taking over the world. I say that every day. Did I say all that right? Did I say your hometown right?
Yeah, that was good. That was good.
Madwana?
Manuela. Yeah, perfect.
Madwana.
Good
And
job.
what about your name? Dzineta Sayemeda?
The name part is always good, actually. The last name
Oh,
is tricky, a little bit tricky. Yeah, but it was good. It was okay. It was okay. Quite good.
Sayemeda.
I can take that.
Sayemeda. I mean, my name is easy for Eastern Europeans because they can roll the R's. They go Andres, and they're like,
Yeah, you know what's the thing that I like received last email from you, and I see they say that you're gonna meet Andres, and I'm like, Andres, like really? Because we have one of our sales leaders, like Andres, and I was like, is he on ponytails too? And then I only realized that probably not because I read the full name. I read the full name afterwards. Yeah.
yeah. Well. I'm sorry to disappoint. Hopefully, I do okay.
No. You're good. Perfect.
Oh man. Well, I'm looking forward to meeting you. One of my favorite things about doing this, and this is my job. This is what I get to do for work, every day. And it's just getting
Okay.
to meet people for the first time. Like I've never even the first time I seen you was about 20 minutes ago when you got on for the sound check, and here we are. So let's just dive in. Is that cool? Can we talk a little bit about what are you doing now? So 2020 you stopped right before the flu, and here we are in 2022. What is Dzineta up to nowadays?
Yeah. Right now I'm mostly teacher in the university, in my university.
Oh, cool.
Yes, and then part-time physiotherapist.
Okay. So pardon my ignorance. what exactly? So there's is it the same thing as a physical therapist, or what's the difference between a physiotherapist and a physical therapist? What does that mean?
Oh boy, those two things are misunderstood sometimes. Mostly physiotherapy, at least in our language, like physiotherapy is something the person that treats you with their own hands, they help you with exercise and everything. But the physical therapy, on the other hand, it's something that's connected more with the different factors using natural factors like magnet therapy or sauna or infrared sauna and so on, like heat therapy, cold therapy, and so on. It's like using natural factors to treat. Yeah.
Wow.
But me, I'm physiotherapist. That's making people exercise.
Oh, I love that. I see. So you're helping people get into better healthy conditions in general.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but what is like your day to day look like? What's like your approach to that? I don't, what like when you go to work, what does it look like when you're doing physiotherapy?
Well, I go to work, and then I have my appointments. I have people that coming by appointments. I mostly work individually, but I also do love doing group trainings. That's one of my things that I really do love. It's such a great energy exchange. Like even if it has been like so hard and long day doing with all the individual people, like when you do the group training, like afterwards, you're just like that. You could do one more day like this.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And did you find that because of COVID, it became a harder thing to do? Like, how were you able to adjust to being able to do this job with like a pandemic going on?
The thing is, I wasn't doing physiotherapy when the pandemics hit. I was just selling books.
Oh,
Yeah,
phenomenal.
yeah. I was
Phenom-
just doing here and there, like some couple of group trainings, but I didn't do physiotherapy actually, like this individual. I only started doing physiotherapy after I finished book selling.
I gotcha. And
Yeah.
did you were you able to kind of figure it out pretty relatively quickly as soon as you left Southwestern? Because sometimes people have a hard time trying to understand what the world looked like. People leave for the summer, and you're like, oh, I should be going too. And then they kind of get stuck with like the habit of going in the summer. Did you find it easy to transition out and into your job?
Oh boy, that's a whole story there. It is transition indeed, like exiting such community as Southwestern is, exiting like really this community, like not meeting all the people that you used to meet, not having all the meetings, not having all the things that you do on a daily basis when you're in a business still, right? It's very much of a transition, and I kind of felt that I have some kind of identity crisis when I finished book selling. I just didn't understand like what is this regular life. That's what I
Wow.
that's what I felt. I just didn't understand how this works because I was so used to being in community, like being summer sales, and then there is like season of recruiting or whatever people do, like university and so on. But I just didn't understand what is this. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
hard transition for me.
Yeah, it's super difficult. Especially if like some people find it a little bit easier than others, but that's been a pretty common theme where the exiting is difficult. Not because it's hard to not want to do it. It's like it's easy to be like, oh, I'm done. But it's just more like you said, the community of people who believe in you and the friends that you make. How are you able to kind of survive? And I want it sounds kind of extreme to say survive, but what things did you find to help you kind of stay motivated? Because I feel like that's the hard part is there's nobody there encouraging you anymore. And so like finding that in your own, like how were you able to get past it and how did you transition out that successfully?
Yeah, it wasn't that bad because I still have my husband to be still in business. Shout out to him. He's right now out there in sales school, soon to start selling books. Yeah, right. And it's really shout out to him because since he's still in business, I still get to hang out with the cool people. Okay, it's not like other people out there is not cool, but it's just different. It's not what you are used to. right?
Yeah.
And that was one thing that really helped, that I could still be in some way engaged in the community. That really helped, because you don't really have any mentorship anymore, right?
Yeah.
Once you stop selling books, you had all this cool mentoring. You work on your goals, you work on your vision, you work on your summer prep and stuff, and then suddenly there is none none of that.
Yeah.
And you have to figure it out yourself, how you're going to do these things now, because nobody's taking a look, like, how you have been doing with your goals. Did you do your 7-step outline and stuff?
Yeah. So do you still do a 7-step outline, or how did you find it to how do you plan now? How do you do it? How do you deal with this now?
I actually do use it because it's wonderful.
That's awesome.
I actually still use it. It's yeah, I use it. I do all this 15 goals to hit during the year, to get closer to my vision. So these things, these tools, they stay. It's not like it's something like that is taken away, but it's still harder to find these accountability partners, because I just don't want my husband to be my fiance. I just don't want him to do all this for me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You need multiple people to plug into, I feel like.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
exactly. Yeah. So that has been the harder part for me, for sure. But it's
Yeah,
not
it's
like it's
different.
undoable.
Yeah, but it is hard. Like, it is, because also, even if you meet other entrepreneurs, like, or even if you meet other people who are pretty motivated, it's not the same.
Yeah.
They're just not quite this. You can't say pony. They're like, "What do
Yeah.
you mean pony?" You go, "I can't go back to my HQ," and they're like, "HQ?" You're, "Oh, home. Sorry,"
Yeah.
or whatever. It's different, right?
Yeah. Indeed. Indeed. Yeah. We have our own lingo.
Yeah, it's kind of
It's
funny
really
though,
cool.
because that's why you have to have the things on the screen. Because we'll say something like GRS, and people are like, "What the hell is GRS?"
Yeah. There's just so much cool stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Like, really.
Do you ever miss it? Do you ever wish you could go back, or are you happy that you're done?
Um, I miss it. I actually miss it. I have to admit, I really miss it. Regardless of how hard it was, I miss it. And I miss all the, like, emotional highs and lows that you get throughout the summer. The summer is a lot to take, right?
Yeah,
Emotionally and sometimes even physically. But I really miss those emotional highs and lows, this intensity of life. I kind of do have intense daily life right now as well, but it's different. It's different vibe. It's like nothing is like that.
yeah. Nothing is like the book field, and we'll get to
Yeah.
that. We'll get to that in the Southwestern part. But what are causing the highs and lows in your current life? Is it school and work, or is it that balance, or what's the biggest, like, challenges you're facing today?